welcome to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. I'm the mom and I do the movie reviews. And if you are brand new to my channel, yay, I'm so glad you're here. I've been waiting for you. My goal is to help you, to give you the heads up on filmmaking quality and content so that you can make the best decision as to whether or not you want to spend time or money or both watching a specific film. So the specific film I'm reviewing today is called The Starling Girl. This coming of age film is now available in select theaters. The film is rated R and is an hour and 56 minutes long. My movie review mom grade is a B. Now, I know some film critics are losing their minds over this, saying that it is such an incredible movie. And while there are great performances, there are some things that I didn't like or thought could have been done better. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out the things that I liked and didn't like, as well as offer tips for parents, themes worth talking about, interesting lines, and recommendations for other films that are sort of similar, that if you like this one, I think you'll like those others, or vice versa. If you like those, you might like this one. All right, you ready to dive in? So the story is about a 17-year-old girl who struggles with her place in the world and in her Christian fundamentalist community. When a young pastor returns to her church, new challenges of faith emerge. Yeah, you can tell what's going to happen, right? The film was directed and written by Laurel Parmet. She's already won the Directors to Watch Award. The movie was also nominated for the Grand Jury Prize at the 2023 Sundance Film Festival and the Audience Award at the SXSW Film Festival. So obviously, a lot of people really like this film. And I did too. I'll tell you some of the things that I really liked about it. So first of all, Eliza Scanlon does a fantastic job as the lead. She's the protagonist, the young woman who is experiencing the transition from childhood to womanhood. Everyone really in the cast just crushed it. The cast includes Lewis Pullman, who is great, of course, Jimmy Simpson, Ren Schmidt, Claire Elizabeth Green, and Ellie Mae. The dialogue is sensitive and often insightful, but the quiet moments are really powerful too. The movie takes place in Kentucky. I have a nephew who just moved to Kentucky. He had never been there before, but he and his wife said, let's go check it out. So I'm really curious to hear what he thinks of it after he's been there for a little while. It looks beautiful. And because of that, the cinematography by Brian Lannon is beautiful. There's some great camera work and editing by Sam Levy. Lovely musical score by Ben Schneider. And the film does a really good job of painting a picture of life in a small religious community and all of the things that that involves. Now, don't get me wrong, this is not a typical Christian feel-good movie. It's a young woman in the Christian fundamentalist religion or sect, which is very much more strict. And I don't know all of their doctrine and dogma, but as portrayed in the film, this girl lives a very sheltered life and has a lot of restrictions. She definitely has a trial of her own faith. It's very sweet because she says these prayers, help me to be good and do good and all of that. And yet she's human like the rest of us and tempted to do things that she knows her religion tells her she shouldn't be doing. So there were also some things that I didn't like. For example, I didn't like any of the characters and I couldn't relate to any of them. And that kind of makes it take a hit, for the enjoyment factor or really getting something great out of the movie, when the whole time I was kind of looking at my watch like, I don't know if I want to be around any of these people anymore. So, for example, the pastor really gets on this young girl about chewing gum, and I'm thinking, what's so sinful about chewing gum? It's allowed in my religion. It's just gum. But that's how strict her community is. Now, I don't want to give everything away, and I don't want to give any spoilers, but one of the things that makes it difficult for me to really enjoy the movie is that I just can never understand a woman who could be with a married man. She knows he's married and still goes after it. I mean, if the guy is so great that you want to be with him, you have to also recognize that he's capable of having an affair. So if you did get with him, like marry him, he divorces the wife and gets with you, why do you think that he's not going to do the same thing again? Anyway, that's the mother in me coming out, I guess. And so as I'm watching that, I'm just like, I'm not rooting for anybody in this story. Some of the scenes are also very dark visually, which can make it difficult to see what's happening if you're going to watch this on a small streaming device once it goes to streaming. Some viewers won't like the ambiguous ending. In other words, there's kind of an ending and you can assume certain things, but you don't really know for sure what's going to happen next. Now, some viewers really like that. And depending on the movie, sometimes I really do. And in this one, I was kind of like, it was really interesting to watch the girls dance as a form of worship. And not very many Christian churches do that. That should be on the list of things that I liked, because I think that that's neat. I was a dancer growing up, and I think dancing is absolutely an expression of emotions and heart and soul and spirit and all of those things. So actually, I really like that element. And if you're a dancer, I think that you'll really enjoy that part of the story as well. All right, so let me give you some tips for parents. I think that young kids are going to be extremely bored. And we see unmarried people basically have intimate relations. Now it's dark. We don't see a lot of skin, just facial expressions. We hear some sound effects, but several times. And I'm just like, I don't need to see all of this stuff. I hate that. We do hear somebody throw up. Thankfully, we don't see them, but it's another moment where I'm like, ugh. And we see someone in a hospital bed. As I'm looking at my notes, I didn't write down that there was any profanity. And it's probably because they were in a Christian community. Because when I was looking for that in my notes, I thought, wait a minute, did I just miss the profanity? I think that there isn't any. So that's a good thing. Some of the other good things, the themes that are illustrated well in the movie, are judging others. And we see that done in a variety of ways. Hypocrites, we definitely see that in a variety of ways. Faith, community, betrayal, right versus wrong, sin, adultery and infidelity, and jealousy. So I always write down funny lines and interesting lines when I'm watching movies, just so I can share them with you so you can get a taste for the dialogue. I didn't write down any funny lines because it's really a serious drama. There's nothing really humorous about the film, but I did write down an interesting line spoken by Jem. She's the young woman, Jem Starling, and that's where it gets its name from. The Starling Girl she's just one of the girls in the family, and people are talking about that Starling Girl. Anyway, she says, "Is it possible to love too much?" And the movie definitely illustrates that answer well, I think. I want to know what you think. Comment down below. And I would say the answer to that is yes as well. It can get you in trouble, especially when you're young, that you will just, almost do anything to be with that person. And that person may not be the best one for you. Anyway, just saying, that's just what I saw growing up and watching my friends with their boyfriends and that kind of stuff. Anyway, let me give you some recommendations for some other movies. The first movie I thought of is called Them That Follow. And this one is also kind of shows some of the negative sides of a Christian community, a very religious, strict Christian community. It's very well acted and has some fantastic performances. Another one is a much more light film called The Miracle Club. I just recently did a movie review of that one. It just came out last Friday, and it's very sweet, although it's not just light and airy and naive. It shows some deep questioning of faith and even those who absolutely don't believe. But it's just much lighter, I think, than the Starling Girl. And then another one that I really like, which I also reviewed last year, is called Father Stew with Mark Wahlberg. Now, that one's got a lot of humor, but it's based on a true story and it's so inspiring. And I just am such a fan of Mark Wahlberg. But it was interesting as a young man starts to discover faith that he never had in his life. Anyway, I don't want to do a spoiler for you for that one, but I recommend that one. I just thought it was really good. All right, that is it. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me. I hope my reviews are helpful. If they are, give them a big thumbs up, subscribe, tell everybody else to come on over to my channel. I really appreciate it. And when you get a minute, click on the description below. There are links to where you can watch some of these movies for free or at a discounted price. All right, have a great day. I'll catch you in the next review. Bye for now.